Welcome to the Delaware County Commissioners meeting of June 15th. It's now 9 o'clock. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Here. Here.
Present. Thank you. Okay. Those appointments, we could take those off. Tabled business. Do we have anything that you'd like to remove from the tabled business?
I'd make a motion to remove the OpenGov from the table.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
So the auditor has sent out a few counties to some of the department heads that are utilizing OpenGov, and our department heads have contacted those counties to look for their feedback. I know Kylene sent a summary, and I know that the highway department has also received some feedback. If the highway department is willing to come up and share some of the feedback that they've had on OpenGov, I'd appreciate it. Make sure that microphone's on, please.
Tommy Humber, Delaware County Highway Department.
Carrie Dye.
So, what day was it, Carrie?
The beginning of last week.
Last week, we sat down with Amanda, our other secretary. It's in our
Get your
payroll.
mic on.
It is on.
Our payroll. So we sat down and we started going through this list of counties and a town. So we took notes on everything. We asked a lot of questions, how it would help us, what they thought about it, and stuff like that. So we'll kind of give you kind of a rundown. I probably won't, I don't know if I want to call the counties out and the names out, or just kind of give you a summary from this county said this and this county said that. How do you guys want that?
I don't believe it's necessary to name other counties.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So the first county we spoke with the highway director, and their purpose of getting OpenGov was primarily in 2020, and they did it for permitting purposes. After 2 years of trying to get all the bugs worked out, they canceled the contract. They never got it up and running. A second county that we talked to, they do not use OpenGov. Their highway department does not use it. Actually, there was 2 of those counties that we spoke with. The highway department does not use OpenGov. The third county or the fourth county that we talked to, they currently use OpenGov. They do not have any issues. They feel that it's very helpful. We did talk with a town in Indiana that had them to start with. They had them from 2021 to 2023. They terminated the contract due to things not being worked out. At that time, they stated that it did not meet the Indiana requirements. I did not go into detail with that. They experienced that it was duplicating data entry requirements, causing additional work, and potential of human error. The bank reconciliation process, they had to have a separate program for that. That's pretty much it, talking to the 4 counties and the town as well. I will emphasize also that the beginning of this year, commissioners, you signed a contract with Violytics with Dean through the engineering office. That is to take over our phaser program and also implement permitting online. So you already have that in effect, and now we're going to add something different into that.
Remind everybody what the phaser
program is?
That
please?
is the road ratings. So we used to have a company that would come in and rate the roads. We are going to be able to do that ourselves now.
Good.
Also, we work with Sam Sarah, who is our GPS program. So we already have that intact. So then you're going to add OpenGov to it. So are we going to pay double for that? Also, our RTA, which is our fleet, our truck fleet and maintenance. So we currently have that into effect. With OpenGov, that would take over that as well. With the new website that Kyle Johnson has been working on, he has also put into place where the public can report potholes, any road damage, anything like that. That is at no cost that Kyle was able to do for us.
Good deal.
I do have a couple other things to put in here. So when we did talk to the two counties that the highway does not use it, we actually talked to some of them about other departments and wasn't positive. It was not a positive experience. So I want to let that out there too. I just feel like that we're overlapping on a lot of stuff that we're under contract with. And I guess one of the biggest questions I would have is, who's going to pay for this? Am I going to pay for this if it goes through? Am I going to pay out of my budget for this? We're already paying. Looks like we're double paying, you know? So I just have concerns with that. And I was hit pretty hard with it pretty quick too, you know? It was something maybe I missed. But it's right here on us. And I mean, honestly, this is the worst time to be dealing with it right now with us because of everything we're busy with, you know? I just feel like, from what I heard, there's a reason that there's 4 counties in Indiana, you know, and I would like to see 20 have it and say it's successful before we go to it at the highway department. So,
Appreciate the feedback. So my understanding on funding is OpenGov's been solely paid for out of American Rescue Plan funds so far, which all have to be spent and expire at the end of this year. So December 31st of 2026, American Rescue Plan funds will no longer be available. It's my understanding that the auditor's office has this in their budget to pay for the whole thing, so it won't come out of the highway department should it move forward.
okay.
Okay, appreciate your feedback.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other departments, heads, or elected office holders that have feedback on OpenGov? I know there were a few other departments asked. Ed, have you received feedback directly from any departments?
No, not from any departments.
Okay. And then, Ed, you and I had a little bit of communication about Zionsville. You said you'd done a little research on Zionsville.
Yes.
Is there a legal dispute between OpenGov and Zionsville right now?
No,
Okay.
that case has been dropped. Zionsville dropped the case.
Okay.
To give you some background, what occurs, this went back to 2020, when a new product was developed. They prematurely launched it. And since then, they've removed everyone related to that department. The developers, marketing, sales, developed a new product, and now they go through a process of having it beta tested, alpha tested by customers before they actually launch the product. So the product is out in the marketplace, has been out in the marketplace for about 3 years now. But that's not even the product we're looking at. The product we're looking at has been out in the marketplace for 16 years, so I think it's very mature. And what I understand from talking to customers in the marketplace, it's the most customizable product that's available. So that's some of the main feedback I received. One county was actually using it. The technician or the guys out in the field who actually do the road work, they actually they won't let management get rid of it because they want to document the case that they're doing the work. So they take pictures and document the inventory so they don't go out and farm out the work to third-party contractors. So they are forcing the management to keep using the product. So
Is that called Cartograph? Is that
Yes.
OpenGov's? So this Muncie Sanitary District adopted the Cartograph portion of OpenGov about 3 years ago.
Which is the same product we're talking about now.
Just the Cartograph portion. Because the Sanitary District doesn't have OpenGov implemented wholesale, just the Cartograph
Well,
portion.
that's a word. So the asset portion of the quote we received is the Cardigan product.
Gotcha.
The permitting is a separate product.
I see.
Well, I appreciate what the highway said. And
And we're still waiting on feedback from a couple of other
And-
departments, I believe.
there are a lot of different applications, that's for sure.
There are, I agree with you, but I'll be honest with you, I'm of the opinion until we get the payroll system locked down with the 2 signatures required, I'm not gonna vote for this. Because none of this has anything to do with our problems right now in this county. And it's payroll issue. And I've been talking about it for a long time, since January at least. We had the conversation this morning, and there's still nothing being done. So until our payroll issues get worked out, which they're not, I'm not voting to approve this. I want to make that clear.
I will make an exception, take exception to your statement. There is stuff being done. And we will, effective this payroll, we will turn on the 2-step requirement and we'll see how much is done. Because we can't force departments to do their jobs in many cases. It's not our responsibility. We don't have the authority to do that. So we can turn it off and we'll see when people don't get paid the effect of the work we've done on our end. So we've been trying to work with each department to educate them and train them. We've created videos concerning that. And so to say nothing's been done, I will take exception to that.
Okay. Nothing's being implemented yet, right?
No, things are implemented.
That's the point.
Things are implemented.
That's the point I'm trying to make. IT made the comment last, in our employee meeting, I believe, that they would like to turn a few of these on at a time and try to get the bugs worked out of the system then, and then turn a few more on. Is anything being done between your office and IT with that
There's
to
really
make things
nothing
easier?
There's really nothing IT needs to do.
Okay,
It's a matter of just us changing the security rights and forcing the issue of requiring 2 people to sign off on it.
okay.
I'm certainly looking forward to the dual sign-offs, the separation of duties and the checks and balances. So you say the next pay cycle, that's going to be turned on?
Yes.
We should have the HR send out notice.
I don't agree with that. This is, HR doesn't handle payroll. In county government's different than any business I've ever been involved with. Typically, HR owns payroll, but the auditor's office owns payroll, and they should send out the notices, in my opinion.
Someone needs to get the word out. Thank you. So what's your pleasure?
Motion to table.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes, thank you. Approval of the commissioners' meeting June 1st.
I sent some minor corrections. I believe those have been incorporated. I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes, thank you. Presentations. RTM Place right away. Miss Ashton, not Miss Ashton.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Van Ice, and I'm from Ashton Land Surveyor. I'm here today with a project that we're doing 1 5-acre parcel that is on Priest Ford Road, Yorktown or Mount Pleasant Township. And we needed to plat, so we needed to dedicate the road right of way of Priest Ford. This is a vacant parcel of land that should have a woods on it, so it can be buildable.
That's an easy improvement.
Part of that's in the flood zone, correct?
Part of it is in the flood zone, but there's still enough of it to be able to build on, yes.
Motion to approve the request.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you.
Then a vacation in Mount Pleasant, Miss Brooks. Or Miss Stubble, please.
Thought I'd stay up here for the second round.
You're gonna do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, again, I'm from Ashton Land Surveyor. What we're doing on this parcel is we're again trying to fix some of the things that have been going on in the little town of Mount Pleasant. In this parcel, or these parcels in particular, we are vacating alleys and a street. The street is Second Street. These properties that you can see have been used as part of the premises owned by Scott and Carla Smith on the north and Piercy on the south. Dean and Betty Piercy. This has been their backyard. And it also, the part of the property, well, the entire property has been used as a premises located for the Smith residence for years.
Yeah, this was platted back in the 1800s. This went before the
1837.
Planning Commission and received a unanimous favorable recommendation, correct?
I believe that's true.
I
We
believe
have been playing yes,
Yeah.
quite a bit, yes.
Isn't there a public hearing required for this?
You give us the go-ahead, then we will get that scheduled.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for the vacation request of Alleys and Second Street.
I'll second.
Oh, and also East Street on the east. Forgot that, sorry.
Okay. That one too.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, 2815 South Monroe Street, Mr. Young. Is he here, please? If not, I wonder if he got notice that he was going to be on the agenda.
he did. So we'll move this to old business for the
Old
next
business.
meeting.
Okay. The Indiana Healthy Community Initiative, Mr. Taylor.
Good morning. In 2016, a group of local health and wellness professionals applied to be designated and recognized as an Indiana Healthy Community with the Wellness Council of Indiana, which is a subsidiary of the Indiana Chamber. And over the last 10 years, we've reapplied and got that recognition. And I'm here just again to notify the community and the commissioners that we are in the process of reapplying for that designation. Deadline for that is July 1, and I'm on target for submitting for that. And just to, again, raise awareness and invite any input or involvement with this process is kind of my purpose today. The application covers 4 major domains: health, the environment, the economy, and the community. So it's a broad and all-inclusive self-assessment. After the self-assessment is submitted, we get feedback on areas of opportunity and growth, and then are invited to submit some goals for the next 2 years to shore up those or address those needs. So again, I'm on target for resubmitting that application, working with a number of partners in town, including the city, the Chamber of Commerce, Ball State, IU Health, Ivy Tech. The list kind of goes on, but Healthy Community Alliance is involved, Tobacco Free Coalition. So again, here to more than anything raise awareness, bring information, provide education, and open up invitation for any questions or anybody in the community at large that would like to be involved or provide feedback in that process.
Mr. Taylor, are you asking the Board of Commissioners for anything today, or this is just an FYI?
It's more an FYI.
You mentioned the city, Have the commissioners or anyone given you a letter of support or a letter of recommendation? Are those things helpful for your application?
I have not requested those at this time. They're not necessary, but as I finalize the application here, if I deem that as a helpful and necessary tool, would it be okay for me to reach out for that letter of support?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to see the metrics associated with the health, the environment, the community, and economic development, those 4 categories that you mentioned.
And I have a few copies of the application as it is in process, if you would like.
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Make sure you get a copy. Can you send this electronically? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Taylor has been working on this since we started years ago, and you're now at Ivy Tech and doing well.
Yeah, and I
Promoting it
appreciate
there.
Commissioner Reagan's involvement in the past. I believe you may have an electronic version of this application in your inbox, Commissioner Reagan, but I can certainly send an electronic copy to the other 2 commissioners as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Hyde Park, Heather Williams.
Good morning, Heather Williams here on behalf of the Muncie Action Plan and Ball State's Office of Community Engagement, Building Better Neighborhoods program. I have a couple of documents I'd like to bring up if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, first I just brought you a copy of the 2025 annual report from the Muncie Action Plan, so you can peruse that and see some of the work that we do, which revolves directly around neighborhood association support. The other document that I dropped off is a list of what we would call problem properties within Hyde Park. I've been working with the neighborhood association, the neighborhood, for a couple of weeks now. We first met in March. We had about 8 residents come out to that initial meeting. And then I drove the neighborhood with another neighbor and got a feel of what the issues were in the community. And those biggest concerns are blighted and abandoned residences, and those being filled with debris, trash, and unsecure, so open doors and windows, overgrown and abandoned lots, and inhabited homes that are not kept up with trash, debris, and then streets that are in poor condition, last paved in the late 70s. So what the neighborhood is looking for is a quick win, and ideally that would be a neighborhood cleanup that would happen on July 25th. That's kind of the goal date. So the list you have in front of you is 24 lots, and that makes up 20% of the total lots within the neighborhood. So there's a large number of properties in the neighborhood that are under some level of distress. The neighbors would like to go out and remove debris from many of those properties. We're looking at just general trash, stacked wood, overgrown trees, branches, those types of things. And what we need is some financial support. I did reach out to the MSD, and they mentioned that the county highway has a Peterson truck. We would love to be able to utilize the Peterson truck to pick up that debris that we will bring to the street on the 25th. But if they could pick up that debris that next Monday, so they're not paying overtime, they're just coming out on a Monday, picking up the trash. And then we would need assistance with the tipping fees when they bring that back to dispose of the trash. And the number I was given was around $3,000. And it really just depends on how much we're able to pick up. So that's what we're looking for in support, would be use of the County Highways Peterson truck and then some funds to pay for those tipping fees.
And that area, those people really appreciate you going out there and working with them these past years.
Yeah, well, this is my first time coming out into the county, to be honest. And there's a lot of the issues are similar to what we see in some of our south side neighborhoods, the abandonment, the trash, the debris, and we see that neighborhood cleanups are a way to bring hope back into those areas.
And we did have, I think, one, is Tom here, Mr. Fouch? We had one house we tore down out there.
Yes, they did have a demolition recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
But technically, the highway has their equipment, but we're not really supposed to use it other than highway. But could we make a donation out of our edit monies maybe and reimburse the highway for?
I believe we have the jurisdiction and the authority to support this. Ms. Williams, you mentioned July 26th. That's a Sunday, correct?
Well, July 25th, we would do the cleanup,
July
and then the
25th. That's a
27th.
Saturday.
Yes.
Okay. So if the highway department did support, we would have to cover overtime.
Well, we'd like them to come out on Monday.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so we will bring the trash and the debris to the street and leave it in piles for them to be able to come out and claw truck and pick that up on Monday.
And it, depending on the amount of trash that's there, I mean, we have one truck, a driver, and I don't know how many trips it would take. So it may take more than one day.
Correct.
And that's a day that utility can't be dispatched onto other projects for the county. But I do believe, as I mentioned, we have the jurisdiction and the authority, and we have edit plan number 9.
I'm not convinced that, I'm not sure I would want them getting debris off a property like that and dumping it without permission of that property owner.
So we will be asking property owners to participate. We will be canvassing and asking owners to bring trash from their own properties out to the street as well. So that's going to be a major push as well. And you'll see from the list that a lot of the individuals are, they are within the neighborhood. There are a couple, like one owner is in Tel Aviv. I doubt that he's going to come and help us with the cleanup. But we will be notifying these property owners at their mailing address that we'll be doing this cleanup as well, so they can come out and assist.
I'd like to have Tommy come to the mic, please.
While Tom's coming up, Commissioner Henry does have a valid concern. I know in the sanitary district, they use this equipment, and people will put their trash and their debris at the side of the road, like a mattress or something. And when they come down and pick up that, whatever it is, the desk, a mattress, and they scuff the yard, people complain. So perhaps a waiver or a release or something.
That's my point is I don't want, what's the old saying, one man's trash, another man's treasure.
Yep.
I don't want something getting taken out to the road and us disposing of something and then us having to pay for that.
Reimburse it,
Mhm.
or property damage.
Yes.
Maybe a simple release.
Sure, we can do that.
I'd like to ask Tommy, because this is paving season, so Tommy, I don't know if you have any young people that could help if you could allow one of your CDL persons to
Yeah,
drive
I don't have a
truck.
problem with complying with anything and helping in any way. The only problem we have right now is we do need to get the truck is running, everything is good. We don't have anyone trained on it as of now. We've been busy and I do not, it's my own fault, but we do not have anyone trained on it. So we would have to get someone trained on that. Is there any, I don't know if they'll have any idea how many loads it will be, it could be, I mean, they're probably going to clean garages out and everything out too and pick stuff up. So it's probably going to be a lot of stuff. So
My guess is they'll take advantage of the opportunity. and
Absolutely.
It'll be
And-
that's
and-
why I said I think it'll take more than a day.
And I have no problem helping. I have no problem helping at all. Like I said, I'm going to have to get someone trained on that pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you and
About
Heather
6
would-
weeks.
It may be something that, I know in some towns, the dumpster company will leave the dumpster on the truck and the towns will follow behind that dumpster in like a skid loader and pick stuff up that way and dump it in just
That right there would be
for your information.
that right there would be way easier for us with our skid loader since we don't have anyone trained on this. And like I said, it's my own fault. We don't have anyone trained. We've been busy and I can make all kinds of excuses, but we should have been
Is
done.
there a claw on your Bobcat or on your backhoe? Is there a claw bucket?
No,
on it?
there's not. But but with our skid loaders, we have like the brush clamp and everything. I mean, that would be pretty simple. if there was dumpsters there. I mean, honestly, for this quick or this soon, it would be the easiest way, but I will do whatever.
Contact the dumpster companies and see if they have a driver available to do that, Tommy? For you guys?
Yeah, yes, I can get a hold of Best Way. I can get a
Okay.
hold of them and see, you know, and I don't know if there'd be like during the tornado, we set them at different places. So I don't know if you would set them at different places close to the houses where they could be moved or what. So,
You want to look at these addresses?
okay. She's going to give me this one here and
Okay.
I'll try to figure something out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely willing to work with whatever's available. I know the biggest issue is that those lots are spread out across the neighborhood. So if we had, one dumpster located in one location, it would be difficult for us to get all of the trash to that dumpster. If we could have a moving vehicle or even multiple sites, that would be ideal. But we could take this conversation offline if you all are willing to work with us and figure out the best way to make this cleanup happen.
Yes.
I'd want some kind of release form signed.
Who do you want to put that together?
I can do that. That's
Okay,
fine.
and send it to us for review.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's a county neighborhood. We're trying to clean up the county. I mean,
And
we
we
spend
are.
a lot of money with unsafe housing in other
Yep.
areas for the last year and a half
Yes.
trying to fix these things.
Yeah. They do have some lots out there that would make nice homes.
Do you want to approve a dollar figure out of that edit line?
Sure. I mean, there's
I know,
there's
yeah.
quite a bit of money there. We didn't spend all of 2025 money, and there is allocated for 2026 $280,000.
Could come out of that wellness.
That's nine.
That's the one. 5,000. I think 5,000. Tommy, you think 5,000 worth of dumpsters would be enough? Should be.
I think so. Another suggestion is maybe to save and make it as low as possible. Maybe I could put one truck with that, with what we're loading.
Put a dump truck with the and then take it and tip
Skid
it.
loader. Yeah. That's an idea. Maybe. I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea.
I think
Depends
it's a good
on-
idea, and you have 6 weeks to train somebody on the Peterson.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'll get with.
I'll make a motion. We approve an amount not to exceed $5,000 out of that line for the cleanup of these addresses.
Yeah. Edit number 9. I second.
Yes.
You second that?
I did.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Thank you very
Great.
much.
Thank
Heather.
you. And
Thank
then
you.
I should work with Tommy to figure out
Yeah.
Yes.
logistics.
He's
Yes.
got cards, yeah.
Thank you for helping the county.
Yeah, appreciate it. Okay, now we have the security automation contract.
So this contract with Security Automation Systems came up in a previous commissioners meeting, and there was a presentation by Security Automation Systems for $735,665 to correct issues and basically update the building access and control security system at the Justice Center, and the commissioners approved it. Since then, we've met with Accurate Controls, the builder for the BOT out there, BW, RQAW, the designer, which is now DCCM, I believe, the Sheriff's Department, and others. Accurate was out about a week and a half ago. They spent Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday correcting issues, Wednesday doing training of the Sheriff's Department, our maintenance program, our maintenance people, and our IT. We finally looped in IT. IT was never involved in this before. And the feedback I'm receiving, I talked to Captain Dye as recently as Saturday, and he's happy with what's going on out there. We do have an open issue with some wiring, some low voltage wiring that still needs pulled and corrected. I'll work with Ryan Stoltz in IT to get that accomplished. But as a general statement, I believe everybody is very pleased with the progress that's been made, and I don't know if the Sheriff's Department wants to change anything that I've said here. If you do, please come up. But if you don't come up, I assume everybody's in complete agreement with what I've said. Don, maintenance, you're in complete agreement with everything that I've said. So my recommendation / motion would be to cancel the contract with Security Automation Systems for $735,665.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. The memorial for the mile.
So this is
Letter of
concerning Corporal Blake Reynolds. I believe that Mr. Lopez at the Sheriff's Department has been working with Will Hoyt Monuments, I believe, to update the plaque on the Fallen Heroes Bridge. And what we have in our packet today is a proposed letter to the Indiana General Assembly and the Department of Transportation, NDOT, to name a portion of I-69, 1 mile, basically at mile marker 247, which is approximately where the tragic accident happened. And this is a letter of support from the commissioners to rename the Corporal Blake Reynolds Memorial Mile.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
I will be coming to you guys. We'll probably be on next meeting agenda when Dean gets back. Have time for him. He's been working on a program with me. I've also met with Tony. I'm sorry, the Sheriff Skinner, and we're going to put a memorial and a monument to fallen deputies at the Justice Center. So I'll be coming to you next meeting. And what I'm thinking is like a not to exceed amount of around $50,000 for a memorial for the Sheriff's Department, the officers that are killed in the line of duty, and specifically Mr. Reynolds. So that'll be coming. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that, and thank you to the sheriff. Based on what I've seen, I will be supporting that.
Yes, thank you. Request to close 312 East from the Markwell family.
Is Mr. Markwell here? I know he sent me an email late on Friday and said that he had a work obligation that was going to take him to Indianapolis. So I don't see Mr. Markwell. But having said that, we can move this to old business. We probably should take a look, talk to IMI. I believe that the Crouch family maybe owns some property there to the east, and maybe that property is now in a trust, and there's a farmer that farms ground immediately adjacent. We probably need to speak to these folks as well in the meantime, but we can move this to old business. And it can be on the first Monday in July.
Is there anyone here to speak about that issue at all? In the meantime, I would definitely like to get traffic counts out there. Can you guys get traffic counts for that, please?
That'd be nice.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
we'll move that to old business.
Need a motion on that.
We do not.
Okay, building hours. I was surprised to see this on the agenda, although it did come up in the department heads meeting that our hours are not the friendliest for the public. So, since my name is down here, I guess I need to put a little committee together with some recommendations. And it's nothing that's real urgent, but it does need to be looked at because we work here at the county building 8:30 to 4. And for the public to get here, it does make them have to take maybe an afternoon off or whatnot. So I don't know which way this is going to go, but it's down here, and I'll be glad to head this up. And if anybody'd like to volunteer, I'll take your calls. That being said, now Commissioner Henry.
Is there any comment on building hours?
I don't disagree. I've had feedback from the community, people that work day shift. It's difficult to get here between the time of 8:30 and 4. Most people go to work before that and get off after that. The 8:30 to 4 is a 7.5 hour span of time. Lunch is inside there. I believe this would also, if we did expand, I'll make up a story here and say we move them to 8 to 4:30. It could allow flexibility for the employees who prefer to work earlier or later. So in addition to increasing public access, I think it could offer some additional flexibility for some of the employees if we were to expand the building hours.
And I'd be
I think
happy-
at the Justice Center too, not just the county building.
Right, and I'd be happy just to have one night a week, a little bit longer hours, but we'll look and see. Thank you. Commissioner Henry?
Okay, next we're going to discuss the executive director for emergency management. Everyone knows there's been a investigation going on with the county that did involve charges filed last week or week before. With that being said, the Emergency Management Advisory Council met June 10th. That was last Wednesday. The majority of the council was there in attendance, and there was a few online. And a vote was taken in regards to the current executive director, the status of him being how do I want to say this?
It's on paid leave.
Yeah, he's
And it was-
he's been on paid leave since March, I believe. Is that correct?
That's correct. And it was a vote of no
And
confidence.
it was a vote of no confidence taken at that meeting Wednesday, and also they requested the removal of the individual from that executive director position. So the recommendation to the commissioners is that that individual be removed from that position. So with that being said, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
And at the same time, that council also made a recommendation that Deputy Director Corey Kissick be placed into the Executive Director position. Mr. Kissick is very qualified for that. He's been running that department exceptionally well since March. We had storms this week, which I think he's prepared to get up and talk about here in just a little bit, but that office managed those storms great. So I was very happy with the way they performed. And Mr. Kissick, he kept me informed all night long that night, like all night long. So, but I do appreciate that, and I appreciate him stepping into that position and taking that. So,
I'd make a motion to promote Deputy Director Corey Kissick to the Executive Director's role of the Emergency Management Department, provided that the job descriptions be thoroughly reviewed and amended to insulate against a few things that we should be insulating against, and that provided that Mr. Kissick will sign the amended job description.
second,
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
congratulations.
Okay. The Resolve Tech, Mr. Chambers.
Don Chambers, Superintendent of Maintenance for Delaware County. I get called out one night to the 911 building and found out one of the compressors went bad on the unit. It's a 20-ton unit, so one of the compressors went bad. I was able to get it back up and going, but it was to install a new compressor, it's $13,850. I just need to get that okay to get that taken care of so we can get everything back up and working like it's supposed to.
So this might be a question for Jenna. We don't have a building fund at the 911 centers. We do have for the county building and the justice center, but we could pay for this out of edit project number 12.
I thought it had all buildings, but just said we need to work on that.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
currently we only have a
Right.
building maintenance and repair fund for the
Number
county building
12.
and for the justice center.
Edit number 12.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
Thank
Don,
you.
in the future with these Resolve Tech, I know they know our buildings, they know everything about it. Would you have them, I'd like these bids separated a little more with the actual amount of cost for the equipment and then the cost for labor.
Yeah,
You
I can,
have them separate that for me, please?
I'll get that and do that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The Eaton paving amended interlocal agreement.
So
Ms. Jubal?
These are an amendment to last meeting. The stretch of Wilman Road is actually going to be fully covered by what the county is doing, so this just updates the amount to show that none of that is gonna be paid by Eaton for that stretch of Wilman Road. Other than that, it's the exact same interlocal, and the map is updated as well for the Wilman Road stretch.
I believe that stretch between Ox Industries and the railroad tracks has been completed. We just have to berm. Is that correct?
They did a section of roadway on Friday, and they are working on Wilman Road today. So
Today.
they are starting at Indiana Avenue and going north on Fort Wayne into Wilman.
The one by Ox Industries.
Yeah.
I have to get a hold of the town of Eaton. I kind of threw him a text message. There's actually a drainage catch basin like in the road. We can't find anything to replace it, to put a riser on it, to rise it up. So there's a little bit of a hold on that. So it will get done, but that's what the problem right there is. And I think that, I may be telling you wrong, that might be the Indiana Avenue part.
I believe it's the Indiana Avenue.
It is.
Yeah, on Romey Street.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I believe that's the Romey Street, Indiana
So that's
Avenue.
gonna be the holdup until we can find, or they can find something. If I can find it, I can let them get it.
So 1,000's done. We're working on Wilman, and then we'll take it from the town limits up to Indiana, and you're talking about Romey Street.
Absolutely, I'm sorry.
And then we have to berm those still. So the Eaton Town Council approved this at their monthly town board last Tuesday.
That is correct.
Okay. And you were present. I appreciate you attending to
Yes,
answer
Tommy
the
and I were at
questions.
the meeting.
Thank you.
Can you find a concrete riser?
It's, yeah, it's in the middle of the road, but it's an old one's kind of outdated.
Mhm.
And we can't find a riser that will fit it to go on top of it. So it's almost like it's gonna be pulled out and raised up, because if we pave over it, it's gonna be a pothole. So,
I understand. I just didn't know you could find concrete.
yeah, not to fit this one.
Okay.
We've had some issues, so I'm gonna get with Diggs and see if they can come up with any kind of something universal.
Retrofit.
Yeah. Sorry, I put the wrong road on there too.
Make a motion to approve the,
It's a square riser is what it is. It's not a round, it's a square, so.
I make a motion to approve the amended interlocal with Town of
Second.
Eaton.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. The wireless infrastructure assessment facility mapping toolkit, Mr. Saltz.
Ryan Stoltz, IT supervisor. And actually, real quick, that is actually wrong. It should be two separate requests. The first one is the facility mapping and wireless assessment toolkit. Essentially, what I'm asking for is for $4,000 to get what we need in order to map out our facilities, because as we know, our floor plans that we have, where we have them, aren't very good. So this software it's a basic software that allows me to get just essentially a layout of the buildings and then use that to map out the wireless to ensure that we're putting it in the proper spot. That also includes software that will generate things like heat maps so that we can do site surveys. Last year, we had a site survey done by Trace 3 that cost us $12,000 for just the Justice Center. So this software will cover all the buildings, as many site surveys as we want for $4,000. The kit also includes like LiDAR capable iPads to be able to do the mapping. With those, we will continue to use those in the IT department so that our tier 1 techs, when they're out doing tickets, can close the tickets on the fly, get new tickets so they're not going back to the office to find out, oh, I got to go right next door to where I was just at. So there is going to be use after the project is complete as well for all the hardware.
So your request for 4,000 is to fund it out of edit,
Correct.
project number 11,
Correct.
for 4,000.
So you want to tell us about the next one?
Well, I think we need to take action on this one. I'd make a motion to approve the wireless infrastructure assessment facility mapping toolkit for $4,000 to be paid out of edit project number 11.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes, thank you. So then your next one,
So the next one is the critical network infrastructure resiliency project. To simplify it, essentially, a lot of our network switches only have one power supply. If that power supply goes down, anything that switch takes care of is down. So they all have the ability to have redundant power supplies so that if one goes out, it'll kick over to the other one. And I do want to give a shout out to Gabe Ryder, my help desk technician. He kind of took lead on this. Originally, we were looking at about $101,000 to replace all of them. He has went through since and found a bunch of switches where they basically put a switch in just because they had a patch panel in, but it was completely unused. So he was able to pull a bunch of those out. He has so far reduced about 20 power supplies that we need, and they're about $3,000 a piece. So he's saved quite a bit of money there. This project will not complete all of the switches, but it will get all of our like EMS, 911, all public safety. 911's already good, but public safety will be ready, as well as a few of our other more critical areas. And then next year probably we'll continue the project to either try to finish it up or get real close. But all switches should have a redundant power supply. We should also have extras. And a good example was on May 21st, I believe it was, we had a switch go down at the Justice Center. We didn't have a replacement power supply at the Justice Center, so Gabe was able to shut down a different switch that had less critical infrastructure on it, get the other one up until I was able to find a replacement switch or a replacement power supply here to take out to him. So, each, like 911, Justice Center, and us should all have backup power supplies for any switches that we have, at least one for each, not one for each switch, but one of each type, as well as a backup switch of each type at each location, so that if we do have a critical infrastructure go down, we can replace it immediately. And this one is, I'm asking for $20,000 for that. And that'll replace, I believe it's 6 of the 1,000 watt, one of the 600 watt, and one of the 650 watt.
phase one.
And then you also have, you're gonna want 20,000 next year, and then
I've got it estimated at 20,000 and 19,000 for the next 2 years. However, with the switch reduction and stuff, I don't know that we'll end up needing that much. Which is why I said for phase 3, the third year, I don't know that we'll actually need everything that's there. So we may be able to finish it up next year, just depending on.
So we don't need to put down 60,000.
No. This is I'm just asking for 20,000 today, just
It is
explaining
nice
the
to
other.
know ahead, though.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
So just for clarification, the handout that you handed out, you're asking for $20,500. 711.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, I just want to be clear. So it's still 20,500.
Yes.
how much is in that IT account?
75,000 for this year.
I'll make a motion, we approve the request paid out of that IT account.
Edit number 11, I'll second.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
Hey, Ryan, real quick, was there some sort of an AT&T outage at the Justice Center on Friday?
Yeah, we were part of a huge outage from the storm. It started about noon or so on Friday. Everyone was affected. It wasn't just Justice Center. I mean, like CASA was out, everybody was out. It was resolved last night. I got an email or an update on the ticket last night that it got resolved. So it took them all weekend to fix.
Does our Comcast circuit offer us the ability to fail over to a different circuit?
We can fail over for internet, but it does not. The ASC circuit is what ties the buildings together, and we do not have that set up with Comcast. I don't know if Comcast even offers it. I've never asked, but we don't have anything set up with them. So it'll fail over to give them internet. They just can't access our resources. But places like CASA, well, I'd have to double check with CASA and YOC because they do have another internet. I'm not sure if we're set up to fail over for them. But the other outlying locations, like, that don't have internet, if we go down, they're down completely. They can't even do any work. If we go down now, they will lose access to our servers and things like that. So they can do some work, but it's real limited.
Will you investigate failover options and come back at the first meeting in July and give us an update?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't know if anybody's here.
I will report. So Mr. Thomas is on vacation this week.
Yes.
So this is an amendment number 2 to the Lockmuller Group on-call services on an as-needed basis. The rates are the same as what we approved previously in 2025. There's no rate increase. The demand for the county public works on an as-needed basis has dropped off significantly, but there still are a few things on occasion where we need their support. So that's the purpose of this amendment number 2.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Bridge 30.
Yeah, I'll take that one as well, seeing as Mr. Thomas is on vacation. Well deserved, by the way. This is the LPA consulting contract, which is standard for bridge number 30, which happens to be the Eaton Albany Pike over Reese Ditch. The construction inspection contract, specifically what we're looking at. NDOT has approved us to execute the contract. That's one of the hurdles that has to happen. We can't do this contract before they approve it, so there's an order of operations. The contract is for $119,980. We pay 20%, federal pays 80%. The money's already funded and fully budgeted, and we just need approval and signatures from the commissioners and the auditor.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Now we come for the Economic Development Services from Ms. Lutton, Mrs. Lutton.
Lutton. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Tracy Lutton with the Economic Development Alliance of Muncie and Delaware County, the local economic development organization, or LEDO, for our community. I'm here today to request a renewal of our agreement for economic development services and to provide the commissioners with an update of some of our activities over the last year or so. Aaron Williams, my colleague, has provided you with a handout to sort of guide you through our presentation today. So I want to start out by thanking the county for your support and partnership. We do recognize that these are taxpayer dollars that help fund this agreement, so we take our responsibility very seriously to support private investment, create opportunities for job growth, and to position Delaware County for long-term success. Many economic development organizations are entirely or mostly funded by government, public dollars. In the more than 40 years of our existence, that has never been our model. Most of our dollars come from outside sources such as local foundations, grants from utility partners, rail partners, and local companies that support our efforts. So the agreement with the county represents about 24% of our total revenue for the year. So some of the ways that we've been able to enhance our work through this support from the county, we did a new brand. We had a new branding project this past year, updated our identity and our materials that was really sorely outdated. We created a new website that's business forward for companies looking at the community, evaluating this as a good location, and also existing businesses. We updated some industrial site videos, and we were able to take on some subscriptions to tools like Grants Watch and tools to help with our efficiency and our proposals. We were also able to attend some additional site selector and economic development events, and these include the Select USA Investment Summit I attended last year, and then Elizabeth Roray and I were able to attend this year as well. We went to 2 area development, site selector, corporate advisor events. I attended the Next Gen Talks. This is up and coming site selectors. These are people that advise companies on ideal business locations for them. So it's great to get in front of these people that have significant influence over corporate location decisions. Aaron and I both went to the Women in Economic Development Conference. Again, this is a site selector, corporate advisor event. And then I attended the Site Selectors Guild, which was actually in Indianapolis this past year. And these events are important because a consistent presence in front of these people helps to keep Delaware County top of mind as opportunities arise. We have some ideas for uses of the funding should you approve this agreement. Because we have new branding and new website, we have a need for some new marketing pieces that we can use at conferences as leave behind pieces. We can attach them to our proposals. We can use them in site visits. We completed a target industry study this year, which I will talk a little more about later on in the presentation, but we're going to have some implementation costs with that are yet to be determined. But one thing I know that I would like to do is to create some industry specific marketing pieces for our website and for handouts and just as a resource for all of us to be able to use as we're talking to prospects. There are some organizations that we once held membership with that we haven't been able to participate in. So we are rejoining the Japan America Society of Indiana. It's also called JASI, J-A-S-I. We may have already sent the check in for that one. But there's a great opportunity with JASI this year because the Midwest US Japan Conference is in Indianapolis this year for the first time since 2005. And this brings together government leaders, executives at companies in some of the top companies in America and also in Japan. They'll be converging in Indianapolis, really with the purpose of fostering business relationships. And so we are planning to attend that. We're also collaborating with our local economic development organizations around the region to go in together to be able to purchase a sponsorship, maybe to get us some more looks at that conference. So we're excited about that. And I'll also mention that's hosted by Governor Braun and the Indiana Office of Commerce. So there'll be lots of state dignitaries there as well. Another organization we once held membership with was the Transatlantic Business Council, also known as the TBIC. I know that the Regional Planning District is also in conversations with them, but we held membership with them a decade ago or so. We went to their national conference and we were able to get some really good project leads through that relationship. The people that were there a decade ago are still there. And so we think that that's another avenue where we might be able to get some more project leads. They represent a lot of European companies, specifically German companies that are existence in Germany, 100-year-old companies, 50-year-old companies that may be looking at the United States for their first U.S. location. So we're looking at rejoining that organization as well. I don't have the cost information on that yet because it's custom based on your community size. So that's how we have been able to use the funds, how we hope to use the funds. I also just have to comment that these funds help to support our time, the staff. It takes money to employ a professional staff, and so we appreciate that support as well. So I want to give you an annual report too on some of the activity that we've been doing over the last year. Our agreement for economic development services covers a lot of different categories of work. So I want to highlight the work in each of those categories today. I'm going to try to be concise here, but I don't want to leave out anything that's important. So The first area is in the agreement is business attraction and recruitment. This continues to be one of our most time-consuming areas of work. It often presents tight deadlines, shifting priorities. Sometimes we get leads that have a 24-hour turnaround. We want to show that we are responsive as possible, that we're quick and certain with our answers. And so sometimes that demands our time immediately where we may have had something else prepared to work on that day. Currently, in our business attraction pipeline, we have 12 projects that we're working on. These are companies that have moved beyond the lead stage. Maybe they're focusing on a specific site or building. We're getting into deeper conversations about planning, zoning, utility detail. And so we have 12 of those projects in our pipeline. In 2025, we submitted 24 proposals for projects to the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. These are projects that are running through the state. So these are likely companies that are looking at multiple states. So they want to work with a centralized economic development organization. So the state sends out leads, sometimes statewide, sometimes to a specific geography within the state. And it will give project criteria. It'll sometimes give detailed utility requirements, zoning requirements, whether they need to be next to rail, whether they would accept a brownfield, a greenfield, if they need existing business and what those specifications are. And the IEDC does not select sites or buildings for us. It's up to us to evaluate that criteria and put forward what we think is the most competitive site or building for the project. So we did 24 of those in 2025, and in 2026, we've submitted 14 additional proposals. That absolutely does not represent the entirety of our work. We respond to dozens of other leads that come from utility partners. We receive project leads from Indiana Michigan Power, AEP. We get leads from sometimes Norfolk Southern. Sometimes, projects are looking specifically for rail serve sites, so they might start first with the railroad. We get leads from real estate brokers. That's a lot of the activity we'd get just inquiring about specific sites. And often these go nowhere, but they still take time to respond to and provide all of the information that's required for projects. And my favorite is when we get a company direct lead. Often when we're going through a middle person, a site selector, we don't know who the company is or who we're working with, but I really love it when we get an inquiry from an actual company. We can really highlight what the community has to offer, and it's not so just focused on utilities or zoning. So we maintain a sites and buildings database with properties that are mirrored from our website to the Indiana Economic Development Corporation sites and buildings database. They're also featured on AEP's industrial sites database website. I know many are also on the Norfolk Southern website, among others. So us updating on the local level puts those properties in a lot of different locations. And that's how I think a lot of the lead generation happens too. We have done 8 site visits with companies, new businesses looking to, considering Delaware County. That's when they actually come here, or there have been a couple instances where it's been a pretty robust virtual meeting due to travel requirements, but 8 site visits with companies, and that's when we feel like a project is really, really serious, when they take the time to come here and look at a site or a building. We actually have 2 upcoming in this month. One will take place next week and one the following week. We're really excited about that because they're looking at existing buildings that we already have that are available. And those are both manufacturing projects that would bring significant capital investment and job opportunities to our community. We have had some project announcements. Sort Pro, a Campac supplier, is located in Yorktown in the former Marsh Distribution Center, building that had been long neglected. And so we're seeing some investment there, getting that property ready for some tenants. Their requirement is for that their piece of that building to be food grade. So that takes some significant investment there. Nortec Aluminum Trailers has signaled that they're investing $37 million and creating 80 jobs. And then L&J Manufacturing Solutions, which you'll recognize from their activity around the Redevelopment Commission that supported that project, they're investing $2.3 million and creating 33 jobs. Second category in the agreement is business retention expansion. We refer to this simply as BR&E, BRE. We know existing businesses remain one of the most important sources of future investment. The opportunities in economic development are more prone to come from the companies that are already located here. And so we know it's important to reach out to these existing businesses to provide individualized help. So we set up BRE calls, BRE visits. These include facility tours. Often they require extensive follow-up and ongoing work, especially when there is an expansion being contemplated or a problem that needs our assistance. These are not simply just drop-ins. We have an ambitious goal this year of doing 100 of those visits. It's been challenging to get some of these visits scheduled, but we persist. In 2025, along with our talent development VP on the chamber side, we did 65 of these visits. So far in 2026, we have done 33. We have 22 additional that are pending or in process. We have had a couple that have declined at this time, but we reach out 3 times. We keep trying. We're persistent. If we can't get the right person, we're reaching out to commissioners sometimes. Hey, do you have a contact? So we're trying really hard to get in front of these companies. This is the most important part of our work, I believe. The next category in the agreement is workforce and talent development. Obviously, there's a strong connection between the work of the Alliance and the Chamber's Talent Development Initiative. We've been able to provide cross referrals and do BRE visits together. This year, again, we completed that target industry study and economic development strategy, which brings our work even closer together. The target industry study and strategy gives us a data-driven framework so that we can understand what industries we have that best align with future growth opportunities. And workforce capacity obviously is going to be very important to that success. So the staff, we are beginning to use the target industry framework and strategy for conversations with education, training, the Cradle to Career Network. And those target industries, that's a presentation in itself, but I will go ahead and share with the commission those target industries that were identified in the plan are, the first is healthcare, education, and life sciences. The second is advanced manufacturing, specifically transportation, equipment, and mobility. The third is advanced manufacturing, specifically precision metals, information technology and services, and then financial, scientific, technical, and creative services, and finally, food, agriculture, and natural resource products. The next category in our agreement with the commissioners is infrastructure and site planning. And our team, our philosophy, this is sort of a baseline in economic development: no product equals no project. You have to have sites, you have to have buildings that are ready for development, you have to have relationships with property owners, you have to understand what your utility infrastructure that exists. And so we spend a lot of time coordinating with utilities, property owners, consultants, and rail providers to make sure that we understand what properties are best suited for projects when opportunities come along. And part of this work is going through site certification programs. And that's a third-party evaluation of a property's site readiness, the infrastructure that is there, ownership, feasibility of ownership, and then other development factors. And so we went through 2 of these certifications this year. The first was a program through Norfolk Southern Rail and the Site Selectors Guild. You may have seen a press release on that this past week. I know it appeared in the Muncie Journal, and it's on the Norfolk Southern website, among others. And I think it's on our site. But we have a site in the Industrial Center that was designated as gold ready, and this sends a signal to potential investors that this site has been evaluated and it has met some matrix to be prepared for development. The second certification program we went through was a competitive process to be selected to even participate in this. And this was through Indiana-Michigan Power's Future Ready Site Accelerator Program. Again, a third-party review of properties. And on that one, we chose to look at a property that we had never put eyes on. We hadn't done any due diligence. We really didn't know if it had any good potential, but it had the right proximity to the Industrial Center. It was on rail. We knew that there was some, at least electric infrastructure nearby. We also knew that there were some challenges. So went through a pretty lengthy process working with the property owner, utilities, and all of the other partners that I've previously mentioned to put together our packet of information for the third-party certification body. They looked at the site, and so this designation on this one does not mean that this site is ready to go today, but it does tell us what the gaps are. And it tells us what we need to do to get that site best prepared for an opportunity that could come to us. And so as a next step, we'll be looking at what those recommendations are and trying to decide if that site is indeed worth further investigation and investment. That usually leads to due diligence, which can be kind of costly. A good example of site readiness, we know that this works. More than a decade ago, probably 15 years ago, we went through a site certification program on 132 acres in the Industrious Center, a site that had utility capacity but wasn't properly zoned, had never had a real serious look at it. This certification resulted in binders of information. We completed all of the due diligence, the geotechnical study, the archaeological reconnaissance, the natural resource assessment, all of the environmental work. We basically master planned this site to be ready for opportunity. And we proposed it over and over and over. And finally, we got a lead that turned into a real project. And for months, we worked quietly and diligently with the company's site location consultant, providing them answers to every question they had about the property along the way. When they did the site visit, the company actually came. We were able to answer every single question they had in the field that day, basically mitigating the risk to that company so that they could be sure that if they continued this relationship with Delaware County, that they would have a successful, complete site selection process. And that company was CanPac. I have no doubt in my mind that our competitive advantage was that we were ready for the opportunity. And so I want to replicate that. The next category is economic development policy and advocacy. As you know, we meet monthly as an economic development committee. The Alliance hosts that meeting. It brings together redevelopment leaders, the mayor, the commissioners, Yorktown chases at those meetings, and our staff to collaborate and share information on the projects that we're working on. To me, I'll speak for myself, that interaction has been invaluable. I should also mention the regional planning district also participates in that meeting. That sharing of information has been a game changer for us. And we're able to make cross referrals with one another as well. So we have served on the regional steering committee for Ready 2.0. As you know, the region was awarded $35 million. We were not the lead organization on that, but Elizabeth Rowray and I represented Delaware County and advocated for projects in this community to receive funding. Currently, we're working with the other local economic development organizations in the Forge ECI region to prepare for some future funding opportunities that are coming down from the state, or we think will come from the state. And this is through the establishment of a regional development authority, also known as an RDA. Regional cities, then Ready 1 and then Ready 2, also all pointed toward a strong suggestion to use an RDA, a regional development authority. But we were able to use our regional economic development organization, Forge ECI, for that. But the state seems to be more staunch in wanting us to use this RDA framework. So we're working to get one established that is functional and represents all of the counties. The state has already taken approach to this regional framework by the redevelopment tax credit program, typically administered by the IEDC. They're now going to require that to go through a regional framework. So we're trying to get prepared for that. It may require some special state legislation. We're engaged in talks with Representative Rowray to maybe author something that creates an RDA framework that's best suited for our region. Currently, the statute is that it's a 5-member board, but we have more than 5 counties in our region. We also want to make sure that the appropriate representation is on that authority. And so we're hiring an attorney to help us through this process. I think it's going to be really important for our long-term success as these state programs and incentives start coming through these RDAs. And finally, I serve on the legislative committee with the Indiana Economic Development Association. So I use that forum to advocate for local priorities, for local control of economic development. As the state moves toward this regional framework, I keep reminding them through our committee work that nobody knows the local community better than the local economic development organization and the local economic development officials. So please don't leave us out of these important processes and conversations. The next category is marketing and community promotion. I talked a lot about this in the beginning when we were talking about some of the marketing initiatives, but I do want to mention that we remain an accredited economic development organization. I haven't counted lately. I think there are about 50 or 60 in the United States to hold that accreditation, but we are the longest tenured accredited economic development organization in the nation. It's very important to us that we maintain that status. Having that sends a signal to developers and site consultants that we have been peer reviewed, we're professionally staffed, and we're adhering to the best practices of the profession. We are currently going through the reaccreditation. Erin's been assembling all of our materials. They look at everything about our organization, from our financials, our board, our strategic plans, our recent announcements, the whole gamut of everything about our organization. And they will give us critical feedback if they feel that there's something that we need to improve on. So we're working through the reaccreditation. And then finally, the last area is community and quality of life. I mentioned READY. Currently, we are coordinating our offices in the early stages of coordinating an opportunity zone application. Right now, the state has opened the application process for local communities to submit distressed census tracts for consideration by the governor for him to forward them to the federal government for this opportunity zone designation. And basically, with this designation, it allows investors to receive pretty significant capital gains tax incentives if they invest in local businesses or real estate in those census tracts. So it's a tool for us. We don't have a lot of tools, so this one is in front of us, so we're going to go after that. The last time the Alliance led this process for the opportunity zones 10 years ago or so, we were very successful, and we had 5 tracts designated. Finally, I want to mention again, the target industry study and plan aligns here. This study is expected to inform a lot of economic development priorities and policies. So I just want to summarize, and you can probably get a sense from my comments here, that economic development work is not always visible in real time. A lot of our work is very foundational, setting the groundwork for opportunities to come our way. Some projects, obviously, in these pipelines, they come and they go on hold, and then they come back from the dead. But companies are making very serious multi-million, sometimes billion-dollar decisions, and sometimes plans change. Sometimes another community wins out. And so there's just so much competition for these projects. There are 14,000 economic development organizations in the United States. So you can imagine we're all vying for projects, investments, and job opportunities for our people. But you know, the Alliance, our staff, Erin, Gina, Elizabeth, we remain committed to representing Delaware County professionally, consistently, supporting our existing employers, working to attract new investment, preparing sites for development, and certainly we want to use all of the public resources responsibly. So in your packet, I've also included some additional information, including the boards that we serve on, all related to economic development, our professional memberships, and then some information on our organizational governance, including a list of our current board of directors. And I also want to mention, while not required for our nonprofit organization, we do conduct a third-party audit on an annual basis to ensure that our funds are being used properly. So the funding request today, Elizabeth, you want to come up and a little Q&A if you'd like. This is Elizabeth Roray, our president and CEO. The funding request today is for a 9-month agreement. The date is from April 1st to December 31st. I recognize that we are late in getting here to ask for this renewal, but as you know, there have been ongoing conversations with all 3 commissioners. We provided an update to the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission in January about our activity. This term through December 31st is to put our agreement on a calendar year. We also recognize that we're going to have a new commissioner in January, so we're not asking you to make a decision that would impact the next board of commissioners. I've added some additional reporting requirements in the agenda. Otherwise, it remains unchanged from last year. I also want to note this is no increase in previous support. In fact, I went back to our Vision 2011 fundraising campaign, and the level of support from the county at that point was the same as what we're asking now. The total for the 9-month agreement is $112,500. There is one slight change in the agreement that is in your handout. It noted 150 a year. I just simply changed that to 112.5 for the 9 months. That probably should have been corrected before I sent it over. I just didn't catch it. So that's the correct version. Happy to answer your questions.
Thank you. You ladies have been very busy and appreciate all the good news.
Thank you.
What's your pleasure?
So this is, previously was funded from TIF. So if we approve this contract today, they'll have to go to the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission and ask for the funding to be approved. So this isn't coming from EDIT. This would come from tax increment financing districts. I make a motion to approve the request.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
thank you. Appreciate the
very
report.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to entertain a recess for 7 minutes.
Make a motion to recess for 7 minutes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Welcome back to the County Commissioners meeting of June 15th. It's now 10:33. We'll continue with our agenda. Oh, gosh. Where are we?
Cowan paving?
Yes, the Cowan paving proposal. Thank you.
Yep. So they supplied a map for what the school is willing to pay for the materials for. They also provided us with a couple of quotes or proposals that they had for materials. I don't believe, who they choose to provide their materials is important to us. That's their decision since they're
Right.
providing the materials. But I think it's important to clarify that we previously agreed to provide the labor and the paving service for the areas that they're wanting to provide the materials for, which includes now the parking lot in front of the volunteer fire department. If you've been out there and seen that parking lot, couple of major holes out there that could be filled in, but they're going to return. And if you look at the ruts, the tire tracks where they back in the blacktop that goes up to the concrete, there are some 6-7 inch drops out there. So that is school property where the Cowan Volunteer Fire Department sits, and the school has elected to provide the materials for that area as well. So I'm just looking for reconfirmation here that we are going to provide the labor and the service to pave, and Cowan's going to provide all the materials.
I'm good with that. Tommy, are you guys still good with that?
Labor and equipment.
Yes, I actually sent an email that I am good with all of that right there.
But also, is it John Street we want to look at?
Yeah.
Let's look at John Street out there. It's to me, it's kind of looks like an alley, but they call it a street. Will you guys take a look at that and see what it would cost to pave that? I don't want to mill it or anything. I just want to pave it.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go out and sweep it first. I've been out there. I'm going to sweep it, probably dirt patch some of the holes to get by with, and then I will get you, but I planned on, I think it's a good idea to pave that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, thanks.
And you're
I have
planning
a-
to pave it while we're mobilized out there
Right,
for the school.
exactly.
Yeah, same time.
I have a question. When you say providing the materials, we will be getting the materials and bidding or from our bid process and then billing them correctly.
That's a great clarification. Yeah, they're going to reimburse us for the materials.
Okay, I
Yep.
just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Need a motion on this?
We already approved it. I just wanted to bring it back
Okay,
up and
thank you.
reconfirm and make sure that everybody understood that it included the Cowan Volunteer Fire Department parking lot.
Okay, thank you. Then Mr. Howard from the Muncie Land Bank request for a
Morning.
certificate.
Nate Howard from the Muncie Land Bank. I'm here to request tax certificate for 3 Kings Columbus to be awarded to the Muncie Land Bank. It's a property that's gone through the tax sale recently in the last 5-6 years, 4 times. And there's a lot of activity in the neighborhood going on right now. We've been,
It's the other
Is
microphone.
the other, I'm sorry.
That's why I couldn't hear myself. Thank you. There's been a lot of activity in the neighborhood. We've had numerous actors reach out to us and ask if we would be willing to seek the award and then do the work, investment in transforming that into a deed and then holding that for future development, something that we would do in consensus with all the different people that are participating there.
Danielle, that's about the same as what we could do with Mr. Howe on the,
Both the same process, yeah.
yes. You want to explain it to Nate?
So if you guys approve this, they'll send out the notices that restarts the 120-day redemption period, and then they can petition for the tax title.
Appreciate all the work you're doing and cleaning up the neighborhood.
Is there? I can't pull that up on Beacon. Is there anything that sits on that lot right now, or is it empty lot?
It's vacant.
Okay.
Thanks, Nate. You want a motion?
I'd make a motion to start the process.
I'll second.
Want to lump the two together?
I do not. The
Okay.
Jeff Howe's a separate situation with Center Township. I'll
Okay.
talk about that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, is Mr. Howell here? Muncie Redevelopment Commission request.
I don't see Mr. Howe, but if you recall, Center Township trustee's office came to a previous meeting and asked for two properties, one at 117 North Ohio and one at 113 North Ohio. They're immediately adjacent to the new shelter that was built by Center Township trustee's office on Main Street. And they are looking to add some storage and clothing stores and things like that. So we agreed to put this process in motion at a previous meeting. And the one that we already own, we have the ability to transfer it to the Muncie Redevelopment Commission. The other one requires a couple of other steps before we are authorized to move it. So this is only for 117 North Ohio, and it's a follow-up to the Center Township Trustee's Office previous request that we agreed to put in motion.
I've talked to them about this. I make a motion we approve. the
I'll second.
request.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Okay. Now, the edit plan. Would you like to talk about that?
We did some updates on this, but it sounds like you wanted a little bit more information, so we can gather what you've requested from the auditor's office and have this ready for the next meeting if you'd like.
Yes, I was noticing some work that might need to be changed, numbers. So I would like to table it.
And you have the information already?
I do.
I'll make a motion we table it.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Okay, down to resolutions. Resolution 2026-06. Delaware County, Indiana amended resolution approving an interlocal agreement with the town of Eaton, Indiana regarding the paving portions of Canal Drive, William Road, and Romney Street.
motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Thank you. Any old business that would like to be discussed?
if it's okay with you, Madam President, I'll just walk down through these very quickly. So the contractor permits, I know that legal and the highway department and the county engineer continue to work on this. I would ask, I think I asked in the last meeting, but some significant progress be made prior to our first Monday meeting in July. At least we have a draft to take a look at for contractor permits. As far as township auditor annual reports, I believe all but two have been provided to the auditor's office. I believe still Niles and Perry Township have to supply their annual reports. And as it relates to standards and guidelines, we do now have three. It was previously only Center Township, but now Harrison and Washington have provided their standards and guidelines. We will need to get those on the commissioner's agenda to be formally approved, as well as all of the other townships still need to propose or supply their proposed updates to the standards and guidelines. Ordinance 2013-20, that's the junk vehicle ordinance. This is another one that's been lingering out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So said this is the seventh meeting. This is to modernize ordinance 2013-020 for junk vehicles. I'd also like to see some significant progress here by our July first Monday meeting. Edit Building Corporation, I would like to take some action here today. So the current Edit Building Corporation, or I'm sorry, County Edit Corporation Resolution 2011-001 is put together to control the edit revenues. And currently, board members are unable to be identified or found. So I would like to make a recommendation that the 3 commissioners be appointed to the board. There are 3 positions, a president, a vice president, and a secretary dash treasurer that we would need to identify. But I think I think this board's important. I think it needs to be in place in the future, in particular as edit moves away from the commissioner's purview and moves to the county council purview in a couple of years due to Senate Roll Act number 1. I think it's important that we leave this board in place. So my first motion would be to name the 3 sitting county commissioners as the board of the Edit Corporation.
What would be your second motion?
Well, we would have to we'd have to make a motion for the president, and then the president would then take over the conversation and then take us.
Why don't we just identify as the current
President.
makeup of the board?
Then I'll amend my motion to name the current sitting county commissioners as the board, with Madam President Sherry Riggin being the president of the Edit Corporation.
And you would be vice?
I would be vice because I'm.
And you say that needs to be a secretary?
Secretary.
I'll be the secretary.
You don't look like a secretary.
I don't, but
Yeah.
maybe one day.
Okay. That's my motion.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes,
Thank you. I'm glad to have that cleared up.
thank you.
Then finally, the media conversion agreement. In the last meeting, the recorder's office came and asked us to approve a pretty sizable contract. It was above the threshold for bid, so I specifically offered to work with the recorder's office if the recorder would share with me the information that they had sent out to receive these proposals. I would help them put an RFP together, and I don't have that information from the recorder's office. Therefore, I have nothing further to report on this. It will remain under old business.
Thank you. Okay. Elected officials, office holders. Anybody have anything they'd like to say?
Good morning, Melanie Marshall, Delaware County Fair Board. And I'm just here to promote our fair and to give a special thank you to the county commissioners for all the support that they give us and all the improvements that we're able to make out there, and to continue operating a family-friendly environment and fair opportunity for the whole community of Delaware County. Our dates this year are July the 20th to the 25th for the carnival portion. The carnival will actually come in, I think, on the 21st is their start date. The 4-H fair starts on July the 11th, and their shows then start. That's when their judging starts, and I think their shows start on the 13th. We're going to have the regular grandstand events. We will have entertainment down at the South Stage. We'll have all of our vendors in Heartland Hall as normal. And of course, last but not least, the food vendors. That's what everyone comes to the fair for, is all that wonderful fair food. And again, our community day will be on Monday, and that will be free admission. And there will be some special exhibits set up. We're going to do some honor guard stuff. I'm not exactly sure what is all in the works for that, but with this year being the 250th birthday for the United States, we've tried to incorporate some things for that. So we're really excited about the fair and hope everyone will come and join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I want to talk to you all, kind of give a heads up and update on what we're doing with the paving, the drainage and stuff like this with the county. Currently, we probably have a quarter of our paving done, which is basically around 13 lane miles. We have one. Let me see, is that from there? We have one on here that we're going to have to take off this year, which is Burlington. There's some issues out there on Burlington with Miller Pipeline, so that's one we're going to have to take off. Okay. So
When you say take it off, you mean not pave
yeah, it
Burlington?
won't be paved this year. We actually put it off from last year
Yeah.
because we ran out of time. But this year we have a lot of pipeline stuff out there. So unless they get something finished quickly.
This is where they had done some construction, tore up the side of our road. We had some concerns and complaints from people that live along Burlington, and we told those folks that we were going to pave that this year. Right? Am I thinking of the same situation?
That sounds like Hoyt, but maybe you're right. I mean, they were going to fix the Hoyt stuff that where the people were having
Yep,
problems.
Hoyt, but I'll go back and look through my records. I'm
And you could be right.
99.999949s that it was Burlington. Okay. I just want to update those people if we're not going to
Yeah.
get to it.
Yeah. So we don't know. We don't know when Miller's going to be off there.
So Miller still has to go out before we pave.
Yes.
Okay. Let's meet with Miller. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. So we picked up 13 more roads just recently, which is going to put us way ahead of where we thought we would be. It will catch us up a lot.
This is catching up deferred roads from the last couple of years, right?
Yes.
Things keep getting kicked down the
Absolutely.
can, and we're going to catch all those roads up. These
5-year
are
plans.
Pacer rating 1s and 2s, the worst roads on our Pacer
Correct.
ratings.
That is correct. So, roughly 770,000 is going to pay for roads that were not completed in 2025. Those have been our main priorities to start the year off with. With that, as you've heard earlier, we are working with the community of the town of Eaton and the Cowan School area. So that has added to our workload as well. Last Thursday, we met with DCRC, and they have pledged to give us roughly 621,000. That is for the roads that we're planning to do in 2026. But with the shortfall of the roads getting done in 25, we put those ahead, and DCRC has agreed to help with the funding of the roads that we had in the 5-year plan for 2026. Roughly, if everything gets done the way that we anticipate it will be, we will have 22 miles of road paved, and then we will also have 38 miles of chip and seal. So our chip and seal should start roughly the second week in July, hopefully lasting a month, and get that completed. It will be a chip and seal and a fog seal process.
Can you explain the fog seal process for folks that don't know what that means, and make sure we talk about both directions?
Yeah, so the fog seal is actually like the layer, after it's all done and rolled, it's going to be the black layer that is sprayed on. It's like an emulsion that is sprayed on. It's what you will see on the interstates. The interstates always fog seal the chip and seal when they're done. So basically it's going to look like that. So we have been doing that. Now we are doing 100% of it. There will not be a chip and seal road that we don't fog seal, which I think is a great, awesome thing to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So also now we're going to come back and hit it the other way, which will even lock everything in even tighter. It's going to make our roads last a lot longer, and it's going to make them a lot more resistant to a lot of the elements that could damage the roads.
Good.
And it's the fog seal that gets on that you can't drive on it for how long?
Yeah, until it's dry. I don't know exactly how many hours. I think it's like 3 hours or something like that, 3 or 4 hours. But it will be double because we will go back over it. So I don't know. And it will be the first time we've ever went back over it and did it twice. We've experimented on a few places out in the county and seen that it worked right. But there may be a drying thing and then go back over it. I'm not sure yet. I don't know that answer.
Well, we just need to tell the people that on that road ahead of time.
Yeah, we always let
So,
everyone know ahead of
We
time.
need some good communication signage out there. Stay off of it for,
Absolutely.
Well, we
Yeah.
have the road closed down, so there's employees out there. So, but if, somebody does have to get in or out, they are notified.
to just go real slow. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
So I'll also let you know that so far, we have put in 44 culverts and a little over 2,000 feet of berming. I'm gonna have Heather come up from the engineering department. And I'll let her talk about a little bit about permits. Heather lines out all my work for me. Without Heather, I can't do my job. How many years you been here, Heather?
29.
She's been here for 29 years, and hey, like when I get turned around the county, I call Heather. Okay, Heather knows the answer to everything. And if you don't think I'm right, ask Steven.
He gets turned around.
So anyway, like I said, we've done over 2,000 feet of berming, 44 culverts. We also have all the community crossing, all the drainage for community crossing has been upgraded like big time. So it's all going to fit to code for what we're doing with paving. So I'm going to let Heather talk a little bit about her permitting.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have brought in 283 permits so far this year. That'd be driveway and right-of-way permits and drainage permits. I have collected $22,120 as of last Friday in permitting. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't have any questions? Shannon, do you have any questions for me?
No, I'm good. Thanks, Tom.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
He doesn't want you to keep talking.
I need he's ready to cut me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I
Thanks,
appreciate the update.
Tommy.
And I think that fog seal, what Tommy explained, is critical to getting out of our reactive mode for road maintenance and getting into a more proactive mode. So this will extend the life of our chip and seal. You won't see any more chip and seal roads remaining. We'll fog seal it in both directions to make sure that the aggregate's properly covered on both sides. And that should extend the life of those chip and sealed roads by arguably, depending on traffic count, 2 to 4 years. And then we'll be out over a period of about 5.5 or 6 years. We'll get out of our reactive mode and get into a more proactive mode of road maintenance. And that's going to be really important because we're all excited right now that our gas tax has been suspended. But does everybody know where gas tax money goes? Road maintenance. And now they're talking about permanently suspending the gas tax, which I'm excited about from a personal perspective, but it's going to hurt our ability to fund our road maintenance. Additionally, the community crossing matching grant funds, the CCMG funds, are probably going to get, at a minimum, significantly reduced or potentially go away. And all of our communities use the CCMG funds for road maintenance and drainage. So if those go away, we have to have a different plan in the future, and being more proactive instead of reactive is the only answer I have right now. So if somebody has a better idea, please communicate with us. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. Corey Kissick, Director of Emergency Management. I want to
Congratulations.
speak on the storms that we had on Thursday night, and some of the work that we did all day Friday and over the weekend. On June 11th, which was Thursday night, a line of thunderstorms affected Delaware County, produced widespread damage across the city of Muncie and also east into south of Selma. At 9:57 p.m., National Weather Service of Indianapolis issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Delaware County, and then later on they issued 2 more severe thunderstorm warnings for central and southern Delaware County. Roughly around 10:43, 11:03 p.m., a lot of calls started coming to the 911 center, which I brought Deputy Director Chris King up here to speak on behalf of the center's impact during that event. It produced a lot of lines down, trees down across the city, and also a lot of damaged structures. Friday, my staff and I went out and conducted damage assessment through the city of Muncie. I've sent you all the incident report on that with details on that. Findings of our damage assessment: we've surveyed 1 destroyed, 11 major, 21 minor, 8 affected, with a total of 41 residential structures, commercial and industrial structures we did surveys on. Later in the day, the National Weather Service met at our Emergency Operations Center, and we went out and did their version of the damage assessment. Their final conclusion was they surveyed, and according to the National Weather Service, that storm that came through produced straight line winds at 70 to 80 miles per hour locally. With that, I want to reiterate our tornado siren policy. During this event, there was no tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service. It was severe thunderstorm warnings only. Our tornado outdoor warning system is activated by Delaware County Emergency Communications, which is 911, and it's activated when a tornado warning is issued. For this event, there was no tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service. Since then, we are revising some plans to this year. The National Weather Service
has included what's called a destructive thunderstorm tag that they issue during storms, which sets off additional alerts on your cell phones and the NOAA radios. So we are revising some plans due to some feedback that we've received from the general public to update and possibly start setting off our tornado sirens for thunderstorms that produce a destructive tag. That's all I have. If anybody has any questions.
With that being said, I want to be clear on something. There was no tornado warning issued the other night. What worries me about this destructive thunderstorm warning, I'm guessing, is what it'll be, is if somebody misses that,
Yep.
then the sirens still don't go off.
Correct.
It's whether it's a 110 mile an hour downdraft, straight line wind, or EF1 tornado, it doesn't matter. People were mad because it wasn't called a tornado, and I don't understand that, because to us, it tears up everything, regardless of what it is. It tears everything up, and we react the same. It doesn't matter. So I'm not sure why the community was so upset about it not being considered a tornado. I can't. Again, to me, it doesn't matter. It was destructive winds by a thunderstorm, regardless of what it was, and it still tore everything up, which we hate. So, but I worry about that a little bit.
Yep.
With that tag, if they start doing that, I worry about that.
Yeah.
It's important for everybody to remember those outdoor warning sirens are just that. They're outdoor warning sirens. So if you're outdoors and you're on a golf course or you're in a park or you're taking a walk with your family through town, if those go off, then it's the, I guess, the warning to get inside. But if you're inside, you don't necessarily hear them all the time. So make sure you have another device, whether it be a NOAA weather radio or there's tons of apps on your phone for weather you can get that will notify you. So just so everybody knows. Thank you. Appreciate all you guys did.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we did activate our EOC as well. ESF partners, our emergency support function staff came in. We stayed activated roughly around 10:30, 11 o'clock until about 4:30 in the morning. We went out the next day and completed our damage assessment. That's all I have. Chris is going to talk about the impact on the 911 center and the call-related issues that they.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, Chris King, Deputy Director 911. I actually have two things. Director Kissick asked me to speak on the calls that were received at the 911 center. Speak on the tornado sirens. We've actually also had the community complain when we've set them off. If you remember, I think it was 2 years ago, we had the tornado that went up around the Gaston area. We set off the sirens. The citizens in the city of Muncie were upset we set them off because it didn't happen in the city, so they didn't need to know. I know a lot of us, even I, grew up with the superstition that because of where the city of Muncie lies, we'll never have a tornado within city limits. That's incorrect. It's not backed up by science. And one thing I'd like to say about that is that it's not a matter of if, but when. And our citizens do need to prepare for if that happens, especially with the way that Indiana is starting to migrate more into what they call the tornado alley.
Yes.
On this specific day, myself and another supervisor had worked our normal shifts. I reported back to the center after a 3-hour break, going home after also preparing for this at 10 o'clock, which was about 45 minutes before the event occurred, to start getting everything ready, even to the point of making sure we have a dedicated person. We always want to make sure when we have the severe thunderstorms coming in, we have a dedicated person that knows as soon as that alert comes in that we set off the sirens, and they are the person that does that. Over the course of 4 hours, we had 283 phone calls into the center. And I mean, I can say, well, that's a 784% increase. It doesn't seem like a lot, But what the public also has to understand is we have 8 911 lines and 12 administrative lines. We only had 9 people in the center that night. There were multiple times that all of those lines were lit up and ringing. We processed 174 calls for service. For the fire side, we had 43 calls for power lines down, 30 calls for some type of road obstruction, whether it was like on Madison Street, they have that construction there at 12th and Madison. We had a bunch of their cones and other objects in the middle of the road where it was impassable, and we had people go out and remedy that. We had trees down. I know a couple people lost like a shed that ended up in the roadway. We also had 10 calls for what we classify as collapses. That includes any type of structure that has some type of damage to where it has either started or is about to collapse, and or a tree has fallen on a house. We had 10 other just general fire service calls. And altogether, we had 119 calls to the 911 lines and 116 calls to administrative lines. And again, looking back over the last 4 weeks prior to that, just the average of calls for services within, or phone calls, I should say, within that same 4-hour time gap was 32. And at this time, we had 283. So that's why it was such a big percent increase. Any questions on that? Okay, the next thing I do have something for the commissioners.
Thank you.
I believe the director's already sent an email to the commissioners letting you know that we've implemented this, and he was going to come in and give an update. However, I'm here doing it. I believe it was last commissioner meeting, Commissioner Brand had spoke about wanting the employees to sign off on their own time sheets. And historically that hasn't happened. I don't know if there's a process that is being implemented for it, but since 2022, I believe it was January 22, we have had our own time clock program at the 911 center. While I was watching live from my office, I started looking into it, and our time clock does offer that. So starting this last pay period, there's a form within our LadTech system that our employees have to go in. They look at their pay for that pay period, make sure everything's correct. There's a spot for them to mark something if it's correct, the supervisor to correct that. Then there's a place for the employee to sign off on it. It kicks it to the supervisor signs off on it. Then it kicks it to our person who does payroll, and our person who does payroll signs off on it, pulls her report from a LadTech. She enters it into our internal work form, signs off on that, gives it to the person that puts it in VIP. Then as of right now, that's manually printed, and then Fred puts a wet signature on that once it's validated, because we still don't have the process of doing it in VIP yet.
I appreciate that very much.
So we just wanted to let everyone know that we have implemented that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Any
it.
questions?
Let everyone know down there that we appreciate their work
Yeah.
during the storms too.
Yep,
Yeah.
I know
I
it gets chaotic, but thank you.
it does.
Yes.
Especially if you're minimum staffed and you're calling people in. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Fred and Chris run a very nice 911 center. A payment of claims of $4,614,638.41. What's your wish?
I'm not going to make a motion to pay the claims because I've asked for the credit card claims to be separated, and I asked the credit card claims that were that followed the procedure to be separated out from the ones that didn't. I'm not going to make a motion, and I'm going to vote no if the motion is made.
I think everybody knows how I'm going to vote. Right? I mean, we had $29,080.41 in credit card claims, and I saw very little justification. In fact, we're going the wrong way. And this has, there's some important things in here. Lit certified shares, public safety shares, edit shares for the city and the county, State Board of Accounts, tax sale redemption, surplus and refund, primary election workers. We're going to get paid out of this. That's $29,829.78. So we're probably going to have a special meeting to get the detail that Commissioner Henry asked for.
Well, when would you like to meet? And of course, our auditor's not here to bring up, well, he might be, oh, I didn't see you
I
down
popped
there.
up here.
How did you
and-
sneak in?
And I'm going to personally apologize because, Shannon, I really feel like that's my fault that those were not separated. I feel like I did bring it up, but I didn't put it into full motion. And it was right after the meeting that I said that that's something we were going to do. And that's totally my fault because I don't think I followed through with getting that put into motion. And then our head bookkeeper had 3 days scheduled off, and we've got our backup doing it. And so, and she just now started doing the emails for such things. So I think I'll take the blame on that. I apologize.
When do you think they would be prepared that we could have a special meeting?
You're asking me.
Yeah, I'm asking. Yeah, because it would be. Wait,
As far as just separating out numbers, that's not going to be real.
Well,
that's not gonna
how
take
many
long to
hours
do.
did it take to advertise for us?
48.
2 days.
48 hours.
Yeah, the soonest we could have it would be at 11:10 a.m. 2 days from now. That'd be the soonest we can have it. That's if we posted it right now, but it's not going to be posted. I'd also like to make a comment that Auditor Carroll certified all of these again after saying,
Now that I did cover, so.
okay, they're certified.
Okay.
So would Thursday, the 18th, Danielle, does that sound like that'd be enough time for you?
It is enough time for us to post, yeah.
Okay.
What time?
What was the proposed?
Thursday the 18th.
At what time?
I don't have my calendar with me, so Thursday
All right, we'll have to
afternoon.
coordinate it after this meeting if you don't have your
Okay.
calendar.
Look for a meeting then. Thank you. So goes with the payroll of $1,069,830.16.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Riggin,
Yes,
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
thank you. So now, time for the public to speak, ask questions. You have 3 minutes to state your name and address. And the first one on the list looks like Mr. Yenser. Maybe he, oh.
Time's up.
Rick Yenser, newsman, author. Very interesting what I've heard today. I'll put it in some context in any given way. You know, I survived Palm Sunday, 1965, and we had nothing to tell us. We just had to watch which way the wind blows. And I know some people think about the past, but with the climate changing, storms creating more destruction than we've ever known, They maybe want to just go outside and watch which way the wind blows. As far as edit, I remember when edit was created a long time ago. It was for economic developments exclusively, and then lawmakers changed it, and now you operate government from it. I still think you need to do more, after listening to the chamber talking about today, what they do to bring jobs and business here. Because in the last year or two, I haven't seen a whole lot. Matter of fact, the biggest job creation I've seen was a legacy corporation here, Muncie Power Products, bringing their manufacturing plant from Fairmount back here and creating about 80 or 90 jobs, which is putting a strain on that Park One industrial park out there by the interstate that runs off of a water well as more companies come in, a data center, a cement company. And I know the county's invested to get more road, more access to that, because that's where development's going, along the interstate. That's where the transportation distribution go. Hoping to, before the next angry mob comes up and talks, I've suffered through that the last several years with CAFOs, renewable energy, and now data centers. I'd be very cautious about doing what Blackford County did the other day, of banning them, or what probably Madison County doing right now, banning them too. We need to bring more tax-paying community, business and industry here. We suffer from having a lot of nonprofit owners here, and the demographics out of the Ball State I saw lately, we've actually got 60% renters and only 40% owners of homes. And that kind of translates to what we've seen, the loss of tax base with industry, the mall, and everybody else. Hopefully you're going to get some more tax-paying people in here, because I'm getting tired of paying taxes. A lot of people do too, because they're still the ones that are complaining more than who got blown away the other day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Mrs. Rita Faulkner, you're gonna pass, okay. Mrs. Irving,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not an angry mob, at least not yet. Jennifer Irving, Eaton, Indiana. And I want to point out that Delaware County does not have an ordinance regarding data centers construction and placement, and this must be addressed. We know what a mess the CAFO and the solar regulations were, because we didn't really have any until we needed them. Growth of AI and data storage requirements continues to expand. I'd like our community leaders to consider a moratorium. New data center applications should not be accepted during this period, and any current applicants held to standards of any ordinance adopted. I recently learned that Delaware County will soon begin work on updating all zoning in the county, as it has not been done since the 1970s. 13 counties in Indiana have enacted official moratoriums or outright prohibitions on new data center developments. Madison County just passed one last week. Indiana has offered incredible incentive to these companies to come here. Indiana is also the worst state for pollution in the nation. This fact cannot be ignored. Public health and the environment have to be prioritized for current and future residents. Our area was recently in a severe drought. Closed looped or not, data centers use a considerable amount of water. This wastewater may include PCBs and many additional pollutants. AI uses 1 bottle of water for 100 words or 1 cute altered photo. Indiana utility I&M is forecasting that a handful of new hyperscale data centers will lead to a tripling of its electric sales by 2030, with data center load potentially exceeding all residential electricity use by Hoosiers combined. This will raise our electricity rates. You know the other concern that citizens have, as well as the real long-term job numbers.
Technology changes rapidly. These issues may be mitigated through better planning and design. In an article from IPR News on on March 6, 2026, Commissioner Brand expressed support of data centers and drones. Commissioner Brand says he has spoken with 7 data center companies interested in local land, and also that they had agreed to his non-negotiable terms. There has been no other public statement on these agreements that I can find, and I'd like to point out that these companies are notorious for non-disclosure agreements, and that this makes it hard for the public to act until it is all underway. We need to allow some time where our county works on an ordinance and for technology to catch up with the demand for these structures. I request that Delaware County Commissioners approve a moratorium on a data center permitting, construction, and development. We really need an ordinance first. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Mr. Andrew Irving.
Good morning. Andy Irving, also Eaton, Indiana. Kind of in addition to the environmental impact, which is concerning, there are also local economic impacts that need to be considered. It's no secret that Delaware County's population has been shrinking. According to census numbers, the county has lost 5% of its population over the last 20 years, and when the rest of central Indiana has experienced roughly 25% population gain. We also know that Delaware County and the greater Muncie area has struggled to combat the post-graduation flight. Young, upwardly mobile families want to live where there is growth opportunity and a high quality of life. When considering if Delaware County is open to housing a data center, these factors need to be considered. If we want a shot at reversing this trend, when we can't allow massive data centers, that will negatively impact local residents' quality of life. Local property values will plummet, as no one wants to live anywhere near these facilities. People will either have to suffer with the noise, lights, traffic, exhaust from massive generators, or will be forced to sell their homes at a massive loss. The claim of these being huge job creators is false. Beyond the initial construction jobs to build the facility, with most of the work being done by out-of-town or most likely even out-of-state contractors, there will be very few local jobs needed to maintain a data center. The negative impacts will far outweigh whatever small job and tax gains that may be realized. This is our moment that requires deep reflection and consideration. Do we want to continue to struggle to grow and improve our local community while being the dumping ground for these massive, polluting, water and electrical consuming facilities, all because we have cheap land and a local population that won't stand up for themselves? Or do we decide to protect our local community, economy, work to improve the local quality of life so that we can get back to being a thriving, growing community that everyone can be proud of? For these reasons, I ask that you consider a moratorium to ensure that this is the right kind of investment, so that the true economic and social impact of a potential data center can be fully evaluated with community input. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Megan Binion.
Good morning. Thank you all for letting me come speak to you. My son's going to give you all some
Thank you,
papers
Megan.
I leave here with you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So my name is Megan Binion, and I am the founder of Legacy Gardens and Agriculture Experience. It's a nonprofit that we've been operating here for 5 years in Muncie. And today I'd like to share a project that we're looking to see if we can get support from the commissioners from, and that is a mobile market. It is a food access and education unit that will bring fresh food directly into the neighborhoods throughout our community. We are already permitted to receive SNAP, WIC, and senior benefits. This will remove transportation barriers and make healthy food more accessible. Another major component of this mobile market is the education aspect. So we are partners with like Second Harvest, other organizations that are already distributing food. And a major issue is people don't know what to do with that food. So I would get this food, okay, how do I take the food from today and this now becomes food for tomorrow? So that is something that we are connected with a number of local community organizations, that there's a lot of discussions of how there can be a collaborative effort in this mobile market, this mobile trailer, to bring this education piece into the community. Connected with this, we have we have recently started a growers collective, and that has actually taken off a lot faster than we expected, where there are small growers. This would be homeowners. We have the Boys and Girls Club that has recently signed on. We have a couple schools that signed on, but focusing to develop long-term food stability. Again, that food for tomorrow, not just your trendy spring garden, you know, your just the beginning starts of those things. One major thing we're seeing is that people want more than just food access. They want to learn how to grow, preserve, and prepare food. We already have commercial refrigeration, stainless steel processing equipment, freeze dryer, commercial dehydrators, and other food preservation resources that can support this. The trailer is supposed to be coming here to town this week, and that total project is $19,000. Ball Brothers has already sent in $5,000 to support this, and we are hoping. I want to just leave this gently here because we don't have confirmation of this, but there's another organization that may be agreeing to $2,500 as well. So that leaves approximately an $11,500 that's still sitting there, and this would go towards developing the trailer for specifically the educational component. We're in communication with the health department as far as compliances and what is all needed to make sure we can start this project right away.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Country.
Michael Catron from 1000 East County Road 700 North Muncie. Got a few things. I wanted to comment on the fog seal. I built roads for 32 years here around Delaware County. That is an excellent idea. If you can keep water from penetrating the road, it gets in there in the winter, it freezes and thaws and heaves up and starts. So that's a very good preventative thing that you're trying to do there. Also on the cleanup, if the county would allow me, I've held a CDL for 41 years. I would donate my services to help with the Peterson truck if that can be worked out. If not, okay, but there's that offer. And on the contractor permits that was brought up, I know Stephen has kept me updated a little bit on that, and I know it started with the ordinance that got abandoned, and I've had communications with 2 of the 3 commissioners electronically, and I would just like for there to be sometime a public statement about whether the county does or does not have control, because in January the county's attorney advised you that you have 20 foot from the center of the road, which I believe that was a poor advisement from the attorney. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else?
That was all that signed up today. So now,
Okay.
time for the commissioners. Have any comments? Commissioner Brand?
Sure. So I'd like to thank the 911 and the EMA offices. I think they did a fantastic job. You heard the report. Also like to thank the Highway Department and Engineering for all the work they're doing. I think significant progress has been made. To hear that 25% of our roads are already done, I think that contradicts a statement that was made to Madam President Reagan. Hopefully you can go correct that record with those folks, and I'd be glad to help you correct that message if you would allow me. I think we need to modernize or completely revamp our travel policy. Just saying. I've actually drafted one and socialized it amongst the commissioners and legal, but I would like to make some progress modernizing our travel policy. We held our second town hall of this year, in the second quarter out at Cowan. Probably the best crowd that we've seen out of all 6. We had real genuine conversations with the folks there that are deeply concerned about their community, the way it looks. Sounds like my time's up.
That's all.
That's all.
Never, never,
Yeah.
never.
Their number one concern was about properties that go unmaintained, high weeds, abandoned properties, windows that are open. I think one lady said, I sit on my front porch and I watch the raccoons play in the front window. So we need to take a serious look at our weed ordinance and who has authority and what authority we have, and we need to provide teeth for the organizations that are going to administer that, whether it's the building commissioner, the health department, potentially the sheriff's department. We need to make a significant effort to clean up our county, and the folks in Cowan were well engaged. I thought it was great. Our next town hall meeting is September 10th at Prairie Creek, 6400 South County Road 575 East. That will come up many more times. I just wanted to put it out there. It's 3 months away. Reminder to all county employees about the Know Before training. This is the last time we're going to talk about it. Folks that don't take it, their credentials will be cut off, and you'll have to make a special arrangement with your department head or your elected office holder and IT to get training offline to get your credentials turned back on. I think, I went out to the Academy for Model Aeronautics this weekend, and what an amazing race they had out there. They have these drones. They're about as big as this piece of paper. They run 120 miles an hour and racing through all these obstacles and things like that. What a resource for our community. I saw license plates from New Mexico and Texas and California and Pennsylvania and New York, all over the place. And, I talked to a few folks out there had some economic development conversations actually with a few folks out there. So I think that's important. I would like to just make a quick comment. There was one of the public comments earlier was about, haven't heard anything else about conversations with data centers. I want to make it clear, the commissioners are not in the land accumulation business. These organizations, whether it's a land accumulator or any kind of a business, they go to the property owner. They get on Beacon, on Schneider, they find the property owner. The commissioners don't own that property, and they go talk to those folks first. Our job is to balance property rights. Just like if you have two neighbors and one wants to put up a fence, one doesn't want the fence, our job is to properly balance property rights between neighbors that may have a potential conflict. And that's where that list of non-negotiables came from. There hasn't been an update on agreements because there are no agreements. Nobody's proposed submitting an application. I've been invited to some meetings with landowners and these developers, and the landowners are all in. It's also been clear, I believe, from our zoning that intense industrial captures everything for a data center, just like it would for Canpack or Magna or Progress Rail or Midwest Metals. I know one of the main concerns is about water, and I heard a comment about closed loop. There's one data center, and they would have to totally disclose all this information, that proposes using 40,000 gallons of water a day in a closed loop system. That sounds like a lot of water, right? 40,000 gallons a day. It's about the size of a large private swimming pool, below ground swimming pool. But compared to our advanced manufacturing industrial partners, that's very minimal usage. So Magna, the white building, what we call the Cowan Road facility, uses about 60,000 gallons a day. Data center closed loop uses 40, Magna uses 60. The smaller Magna plant, when it was up and running, used about 28,000 gallons a day. So Magna was using 90,000 gallons a day. Canpack, for example, they use 300,000 gallons a day of water. And it's not out of wells. It's all coming through Indiana American Water, which is not a city utility. It's a regulated utility by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, and they say they have plenty of water supply. So I just want to, make it clear that these data centers have taken a look at these non-negotiables, which are, in my opinion, every single concern I've heard from town halls and meeting with people in small areas, and said thou shalt or thou shalt not, and every single one of them said yes, we can comply. So again, these are deals between landowners and these companies, whether it's a retail, a gas station, an O'Reilly Auto Parts, a data center, whatever it is. These are deals between those folks and the landowners. And then there was a comment about NDAs. I want to state very clearly for the public record that I do not sign NDAs. I will not sign NDAs. I want people to be able to ask me a question and that I can answer it. The moment I sign an NDA and I hide behind that wall that, hey, I can't talk to you about it, you're going to lose trust in me. Maybe you already don't trust me, but I encourage you to have a conversation with me before you make those judgments about, whether we're on the same page or not. So, in addition to the travel policy, I would like to see a credit card policy, which I've also drafted and socialized. As it relates to the fairgrounds, excited about the fair. I want to let everybody know that we're working with the Muncie Sanitary District. They and Tom Eisen, the Fair Board president. The Muncie Sanitary District is out there mapping the underground stormwater. We have some stormwater, some drainage issues out there. We gave them permission with agreement from Mr. Eisen, and they found some problems. So I asked Mr. Tom Noble at the Muncie Sanitary District to put together a proposal. He would like to do some sort of cost sharing with the county and the Muncie Sanitary District to fix those storm structures and the problems that they're having so they can continue and hopefully complete the televising and the mapping of all that underground structure. And by the way, that mapping's being done in Cartograph, which is an OpenGov utility. As it relates to our mailroom, I mentioned in the previous meeting that we were working on getting a discounted rate for FedEx and United States Postal Service packages. That's in place now. So if your department office needs to ship a large, overweight, or bulky package, please contact Mike out there. He'll arrange to help get it set up, picked up, and utilize that agreement that we now have with FedEx and UPS, and hopefully save the departments, the county, and most importantly, the taxpayers some revenue. Earlier, Mr. Humbert and Ms. Dye mentioned the Hoyt Avenue repairs. So on Hoyt between Old 67 and 23rd Street up there, Centerpoint went out and made a bunch of cuts, more than 20 some cuts. You heard Dean Thomas report out at the last meeting that we've got a strip paving agreement with them. Long story short, they're going to start that on June 18th. So look for traffic challenges and delays on that strip of road starting on June 18th, but it's going to be well worth it because they're going to fix all that where we just paved a road 2 years ago and then they went and made 20 some cuts. Our next unsafe housing meeting is July 20th. That's the third Monday in July. And Madam President, I believe that concludes my updates. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone heard from 911 and EMA about the storm and being out during the storm, but what you didn't hear about is EMS and what went on there, the county highway, the city street department, the sheriff's department, MPD. You didn't hear about all that, right? So just keep in mind when these events are taking place, there's a ton of emergency service people out there working on your behalf. So just keep that in mind. Also, we need to have an insurance meeting. I spoke to Commissioner Brand a little bit. We've increased the deductible for our insurance to try to save money. However, I think the way it looks now, we may have went a little far. We need to research it a little more. The sheriff's department contacted me. They had a crash. It was like a $10,000 or $12,000 crash that they're dealing with right now, and that's going to take the majority of their budget, especially if they have another one. So I know the highway is going to be the same. EMA would be the same. EMS will be the same. These departments didn't budget for those high deductibles, so we need to go back and revisit that. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I make some additional comments? So Commissioner Henry's right. I just want to clarify the deductible is not health insurance. So for all the county employees out there thinking we're raising the deductible on health insurance, has nothing to do with health insurance.
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
This is auto liability. And previously we had a $2,500 deductible. And a lot of times we could do things for under that. That deductible was raised to $25,000. And the sheriff's department, some other departments have had some claims in that $12,000, $14,000, $16,000 range, and this is causing them additional costs that weren't previously budgeted. And we are going to revisit it with USI and Chubb and Apex, who are our new underwriters. It was Travelers before at $2,500. Now it's Apex and Chubb for $25,000, and it looks like we went too far. So we need to take a look.
Yes, thank you. There is a little ribbon cutting out at 3000 South Tillotson for the new Indiana Treatment Center, known as our mental health building. And we are going to be working on having some public time. So the commissioners, we need to set when it'd be good for our employees to go out and look at it, and people that work 9 to 5. So we will be hosting that before, maybe next week, if we can put it together. But it's a very nice facility. We are looking forward to it, and it's going to help our community greatly. With that said, our next meeting will be July, what is it?
6th.
Be here before we know it. So I entertain a recess.
Motion to recess.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Thank you.